Again to my channel, Fox Business. My name is Godwin, a marketing professional and a marketing trainer. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share, comment, and like. Today we are going to be looking at a very interesting topic. We're going to be looking at types of salesperson's response to customer objections. Types of salesperson's response to customer objections. Most often when we sell products to customers, there comes times whereby the customers, as a matter of fact, comes up with objections or resistance that serves as a barrier to them from buying the product or service that we are offering. One thing is, after identifying customers' concern or objections and resistance, it is important for the salesperson to also determine how or which methods that he will use to respond and combat to those customer objections. Today, join me as we look at 7 different types of response that a salesperson can give to customer objections. The first one is indirect denial. Indirect denial. With indirect denial, this is where the customer's concern is absolutely right or valid. You could see the customer is making a point. His resistance or his objections is actually something that is really real and valid. For example, the prospect or the potential customer goes like, I am aware that you have just recruited new staff or many staff into your company. For me, I think it is a sign of a poor motivation or some internal problem is existing within the organization. That is why you have employed new staff. Now, this is how the salesperson should also go about it. So the salesperson comes in now. This is a fact, but this is due to expansion. We are expanding into different markets and we need more people. It is not because of any internal problems that we are having. We think we need to recruit more people so we can expand our network and our branches and our offices. So with this, the salesperson, as a matter of fact, accepts the validity of the potential customer or prospect and then try to give a tangible explanation to that particular objection. The second salesperson response to customer objection, or the second type, is direct denial. Direct denial. With direct denial, the salesperson directly refutes or denies the customer's assertion. He doesn't take the customer's assertion as valid. The salesperson then refuses to take the customer's objection or resistance. It is a very high risk method, and it may, as a matter of fact, short circuit the sales process. But if used properly and at the right situation at the right time, it may help. This might be a misconception that the prospect or the potential customer has come across. It could be a bad news that is not actually existing, or that is not right, but came from someone. It could be from a dissatisfied customer who has gone around going viral and then saying negative things about the company. What the salesman have to do here is to address the misconception. So the prospect or the potential customer comes like, I heard your company has been sold to a small firm. Now, the salesperson, this is the response the salesperson have to give to this objection. This is not true. This is a misconception. Here, the salesperson then tries to explain and give the strategic intent behind that particular move. So the salesperson could talk about the fact that this could be as a result of the fact that we want to go into co-marketing agreement with that company, or we have gone into a co-marketing agreement with that company, or we are in some form of a an alliance or strategic alliance or a joint venture with that company, and we have never sold the company to any small firm. Besides, the company is not a small firm. This is a company that has been in the system. We have joined forces and we are into co-marketing and, for that matter, co-branding. And so we have not been sold to a small firm. This type of strategy is very good and it works very well in sales or when selling anything. The next thing is superior benefit. Superior benefit, or the next type of response is superior benefit. This is anything that the salesperson will have to say or do to outweigh the potential customer or the prospect's concern. It is used in conjunction with indirect denial, and it works perfectly. It works perfectly. So, for example, the prospect or the customer comes in. You don't have an executive service. Or let's say the customer, let's even put it this way. The customer comes in and they say, do you have a particular feature in your product or in your service? So let's use a hotel, for example. Do you have a restaurant in your hotel? Do you have a restaurant in your hotel? Do you have a restaurant in your hotel? Or he says that you don't have a restaurant in your hotel. The prospect comes in and says, you don't have a restaurant in your hotel. Then this is the response that the salesman comes in to do. The salesman now accepts the fact that yes, you are right. So you realize that the salesman now uses an indirect denial and then comes in to say that, but we have outsourced, or we have a supplier who supplies food to us. He's a very reliable supplier, a high quality supplier who supplies food to us. So we can supply food to you 3 times in a day or 4 times in a day. So you realize that in the first statement that the salesman made, he talked about the fact that the prospect or the potential customer is right, and then came with a superior benefit. But we have a supplier who can, as a matter of fact, supply us food reliably. So in this case, you got to realize that the salesperson was able to overcome the prospect by telling him about the fact that there's a provider or someone who can provide that particular service. And now, the fourth response is what we call demonstration. That is the fourth response to customer objection that any salesperson selling any product or service could use, is what we call demonstration. Demonstration. You see, this is used when you have the opportunity to do so, because if you don't have the opportunity to do the demonstration, there's no way you can, as a matter of fact, achieve the principle of seeing is believing. This is very ideal when you know your competitor's product and yours very well. So you could, as a matter of fact, use your product demonstration to overcome the customer's objections. It's a very powerful tool when it comes to overcoming objections. Now let's look at the prospect or the customer's objection. The potential customer says, I really doubt your service level, and I'm not aware of your brand. I really doubt your service level, and I'm not aware of your brand. This is the salesperson's response. Why don't you try our product and see? So for example, if it is a hotel service that you are providing, why don't we try a night with your wife or your woman or your lady or your girlfriend? You could relax and feel at home. You could relax and feel at home. So you realize that the salesperson now vouches for demonstration for the potential customer or the prospect to have a feel of the product or the service. So you could relax and have a feel of our product. You get to realize that in this instance, the salesperson is basically not forcing the potential customer, but as a matter of fact, trying to propose that the prospect tries the product. Another fantastic response, which is the fifth one, what we call the trial offer. Trial offer is also another way that the salesperson can respond to a customer's objection. With a trial offer, as the name implies, here you vouch or try to tell the customer to, as a matter of fact, try the product. Ask the customer to try the product. So at this stage, you are actually giving out opportunity to the customer or the potential customer or the prospect to try the product. And this is the objection that the prospect or the potential customer gives. I can't really make a commitment. I don't feel like using your service. I just can't commit. This is the salesperson's response. We can host you, or we can give you the product for you to try. So in the example of the hotel, you can say that we can host you for 2 nights for half the price, or for a small fee, or for a discount. So this is the salesperson's response. We can host you for a small fee, using the hotel example. It could be any other product. So you offer a discount by telling the customer that we can offer you a discount and you can use our product or our service at a very lower price. This objection response works perfectly. The next response a salesperson can also use to overcome a prospect or a customer's objection is the third-party testimony. That is the third-party testimony. So very powerful tool for those who are into consultative selling. It uses the power of referrals to overcome customers' objections and resistance towards buying your product or service. So let's take an example. The prospect or the potential customer goes like, your company is so new to me. I've not heard of your brand. Your brand is not a brand that I know. Your company sounds big, but it looks like the brand is not a brand that I know. The salesperson responds this way. So now the salesperson comes in. White, or Mr. Brown White, or Brown White, the famous footballer, uses our products. In the situation of the hotel, an example of the hotel, you can see Mr. Brown White, the famous footballer, spent 2 nights here 2 months ago. I will call him right now, so he calls you to speak with you. I will tell him to speak to you to tell you about our brand. This is also another fantastic way of, as a matter of fact, overcoming customers' objections. Another strategy is the questions, and that is number 7, questions. The questions is another way that a salesperson can respond to a prospect's objection or potential customer's objections. It's a very effective way of gathering information, and it's good to make clarifications. It makes the potential customer rethink his position and begin to take proper action as in buying or using your product. So this is an example. The prospect comes in like this, or the potential customer comes in like this. You don't have executive services, or don't you have special services? In the situation of the hotel, let's use the hotel as an example. Do you have executive rooms? Then the salesperson responds this way. How many will you need? Then prospect comes in again. one for my boss, when is he going to use it? We are going to offer him the very best of services. So you get to realize that at this stage, the salesperson has been able to close the sale, almost close the sale, because now you realize that the prospect is now asking for a specific thing or a specific aspect of a product. And these are some of the techniques that salespeople can use to respond to customer objections and resistance. Once again, thank you very much for watching my video and joining me do this video as well, because without you, as a matter of fact, this channel cannot exist. Tell others to subscribe, and if you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. I have another interesting topic coming up in my next video. Have a nice time. Bye bye.